Mr. Heavyweight Boxing today.
Hey, what's up, man? This is Chris, the Nightmare Jarrell, and you're watching Mr. Boxing today.
It's your boy Big Baby Miller here. Listen, we knocking on all bums. First it's gonna be Dylan White, if it's gonna be Joseph Parker, but you know who got the story right? Mr. Boxing Today. You check him out. He got all the latest news on the heavyweight division. And if you don't know me, you soon will, because I'm kicking everybody ass.
Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So Jarrell, Big Baby Miller, gets the job done, wins a unanimous decision over Johann Duhaupas. When the fight started, you know, Miller comes out, like I said, he wants to pressure you, but he's not the type of pressure guy where the whole fight, although he's throwing a lot of punches, he's not just loading up on every single shot with his high work rate. He's working in different styles, different ways that he gets the job done. I thought something that was throwing Duhaupas off early was the fact that Miller was being so calm, being so relaxed in there. He was able to slip Duhaupas' jab, and he was able to get on the inside. As soon as he got Duhaupas on the ropes, he went straight to the body. There was even a point in the fight where Miller switched southpaw and was able to land good left uppercuts. The uppercut, he was finding a home for it in this fight. And he was adding a little bit of, well, a lot of physicality in there with pushing. He was doing a lot of pushing with his lead. He'll throw the jab, but then he'll also use his left hand. He was kind of pushing and holding Duhaupas in place a little bit. So he wants to watch out for that in his other fights when he, you know, is in bigger fights with higher stakes. The ref may, you know, step in and may give him a few warnings. But it was nothing too excessive, in my opinion, because he was adding in good combinations, good body work, good hooks. Duhaupas started to warm up to me in the third and fourth. He started to let his right hand go. The first few rounds, he just was not letting the right hand go. He was electing to jab a little bit, move a little bit, but then he'll stand his ground. But to me, he wasn't letting that right hand go enough. He started to whack Miller with a few right hands as Miller was coming in. He was starting to catch him a little bit after Miller would roll 2 or 3 of his shots. Then maybe the one right hand was getting through and it was hitting him. And Miller was taking it. He was eating it like M&Ms and coming forward. And to this day, man, I'm still surprised how much stamina and the work rate that Miller can dish out in a fight. And he's over 300 pounds. You know, people say he needs to lose weight, and I'm scratching my head like, shit, does he? I mean, does he really? Because there's guys that I've seen with better physiques than him, more muscular, more, you know, they're slimmer guys, and they go in there and they're completely gassed around 8 or 9, where this dude keeps coming forward, keeps coming forward. If it works for him, don't change anything. You know, he's been like this pretty much his whole career. It's not like, you know, he's just starting to, you know, gain his weight after, you know, aging and getting to his late 30s. Nah, man, this is a young guy. He seems fresh, and he has a high motor. Man, he's just one of those guys with a high motor. Regardless of his physique, he has a high motor. It's just, he's just one of those type of athletes, man. Like I always say, he's built like a defensive lineman in the NFL. Now, let's get back to boxing, though. Duhaupas, you know, then it's like he was getting walked down so much. The fighter in him said, you know what, let me just stand and trade with this guy, man, just to get this guy's respect. And he was landing some good shots, man. You know, there was even times in the fight where they were standing toe-to-toe. Miller was getting the best of it. Then Duhaupas would elect to get back on the back foot a little bit and land some right hands, letting his jab go. I believe it was after the 11th. I thought he was going to call it quits. I think there was something wrong with his leg or foot, if I can remember. But he elected to fight. Duhaupas has been in there. He wasn't going to be intimidated by Jarrell. He's been in there with Deontay Wilder. Came out as the aggressor against Wilder. We know he took the Povetkin fight on very short notice. He took it, I believe it was the first week of 2016 when he took that fight on a day's notice, and he was actually preparing for a fight for January 30th of 2017. So just think, he had a whole damn near 2 months to go before he was ready for his actual fight he had scheduled with Takam for the I believe the WBC silver title was on the line. You know, so Duhaupas is a formidable, decent fighter. You know what I mean? Manuel Charr, he's been in there. He's actually beat Manuel Charr. He knocked out Helenius when Helenius was undefeated. Walked him down and knocked him out. So who else did he fight? Francisco Pianata when Pianata was undefeated. I believe I'm forgetting somebody else, man. But Duhaupas has been in there with some good fighters, man, and picked up some victories as well. And since that Povetkin fight, he's fought 3 journeyman fighters, you know, trying to get his feet wet again as far as, you know, coming off that vicious knockout loss to Povetkin. You know, so good performance by Jarrell Miller. They entertained. He let his hands go. He did what he had to do. You know, but what surprised me the most is just, or not didn't surprise me, what keeps impressing me about him is how comfortable and relaxed he is in the ring. There was even times where when Duhaupas was landing his best shots, Miller seen him coming. He was like closing his eyes, bracing himself for some of these uppercuts and hooks that Duhaupas was able to land. He's seen it all coming. Now, just because you see something coming don't necessarily mean if you get hit on the right spot, you can go to sleep. You know, so I'm not saying that will work against everybody. But Miller went to decision, man. Good fight for him, in my opinion. I mean, somebody please give this man a top 5 opponent and get him in there with somebody that the world can watch and see what he does against a Povetkin type. I like this fight. I would still like to see is him against Dillian Whyte. I've been wanting to see that fight for over a year now. You know, I know Dillian Whyte got things going on, IBF mandatory fight or IBF eliminator fight for the final mandatory position against Pulev for the IBF. And I'm hearing somebody left in my comment section. I've yet to look it up and do the research on it, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I believe the fight that he has, where the WBC they made against him and Luis Ortiz, the fight they order is for the second mandatory spot. So White has that, and then Joseph Parker came out and said he would like to fight Dillian Whyte. Joseph Parker's another guy I like to see Jarrell Miller in there with. Get Jarrell in there with one of those type of guys. Somebody that's a formidable top 10, top 5 type of guy. And let's see what happens, man. I think he's ready. But this was a good step. Now he's beating Marius Wack. Now he's beating Johann Duhaupas. This is the steps that you want your up-and-coming contender, a guy that's trying to crack that top. Well, Miller's rated highly in damn near every sanctioned body. But the guy you want to see break through, possibly, you know, get one of those type of eliminator fights, get him a title shot. You want to see him fight guys who are former world title holders or guys that have fought for world titles before. Just to compare, just to, you know, see what he does against guys that Parker's fought and Povetkin's fought and Jarrell Miller, Anthony Joshua's fought, Deontay Wilder has fought, guys like that, you know. So I like to see him fight Charles Martin. That'd be another good fight. How about Andrew Ruiz Jr.? I mean, there's so many good fights you can make with this guy, even if it's not against a guy that's necessarily rated top 5, not just of a sanctioned body, like a consensus top 5, top 10, like an overall, not just sanctioned body. But he is highly rated, man. Good performance in my book. Once again, I'm impressed by the stamina. And some of you guys may say, oh, but he won't get the heat put on him. Now, his stamina can get tested in different ways. Just because you come forward and you let punches go and you're, you know, bobbing and weaving, getting out of the way of a few shots, and you're getting tagged but still coming forward. How will Jarrell fare in a fight where he gets pushed on his back foot all night? Now, wouldn't that be a sight to see if we see Jarrell Miller get pushed on his back foot all night? Can somebody do it? I don't know. I'm not sure there's anybody in the heavyweight division that can push him back all night. So I think there's some guys that can make a miss and they can possibly land something on him. I think to really hurt Jarrell, well, these are heavyweights, man. He gets hit in the right spot, he can go down. But I think a way that can probably catch him is if when he missed, then you make him pay. Because if he's able to brace himself and he's fighting in that relaxed, even though it's a high-paced fight, he's still relaxed. Kind of like the Matrix effect, right? Like things are going fast, but you can just slow it down and see everything coming. To me, he's comfortable like that. That's his comfort zone, is being in fire, is being in a shootout, helter-skelters around. You know what I mean? He's comfortable. Man, that is impressive to me. But yeah, man, I think if you make him miss and make him pay when he doesn't see it coming, when he can't brace himself, when he doesn't have the guard up to roll with the shot, when he misses, can you make him pay and get him out of there? We'll see. But Jarrell Miller did his thing. I want to see him in there with one of these top guys now. You know, he's beat Duhaupas, he's beat Wack. I mean, let's get him in there with some of these other guys, man. But you guys let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm gone.